Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today for my 10 cards 1 kit featuring the Creative Escape Papercrafting September fully loaded kit for 2018. So let's jump right into it. For card number 1, I have a 6x6 card base, and I've taken the light craft cardstock and I used this leaf and the smaller leaf from the stamp set that comes in your kit, and I've stamped it all over the craft cardstock, the light craft cardstock, and heat embossed it with some of my gold embossing powder from my stash. I used the Versamark to stamp the images, which is a sticky ink pad and allows you to add your embossing powder on top, and then you can heat set that. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to my card base. My second piece, I just took a piece of white cardstock, and this is one of the pieces from the top of the pieces of cardstock that come in your kit from the paper pad, the 6x6 pads. And I'm going to add this to this lower section down here. And then I also took the tree and embossed and heat embossed it with the same gold embossing powder 3 times, and then I fussy cut the tree out. So I'm going to go ahead and add this tree right where that circle is from the cutout at the top. I'm going to add my tree there. That's right in the center. Let me just make sure before I press that down, and then add my other tree. I think I'm going to move this up just a tad. And take my next tree, add that here. That looks really good. And then I've taken the Adventure ephemera piece and I'm going to add this to the top. And that completes card number 1. For card number 2, I've taken a 6x6 card base, and I've taken one of the 6x6 sheets that comes in the kit, and this is the floral pattern. I've also added the Nouveau glitter drops, and this comes in the kit. It's the gold dust. I'm going to go ahead and add this to my card base. And in the kit you get a photo frame, and it had the same design as this pattern paper. So I'm going to go ahead and add this right up here. I've added foam tape to the back to give it some dimension, and then the insert that comes with this, I stamped "All Things Grow with Love," and this is a stamp from my stash, and I'm just going to go ahead and insert that back into the opening. I've taken one of the wooden birds and I distressed it with some distress ink in a blue tone to match the paper, and I'm going to add this bird right here. It also have an ephemera piece that has the same flower, and I'm going to top it right up here at the top of the frame. Next, I've taken some of the gold ribbon that comes in the kit, and I'm going to add that right here for just an added additional element. And I'll trim that off just a little bit. And that completes card number 2. For card number 3, I have a top folding card, and this one measures 5 3/4 by 4 1/2. I've taken the gold mirror cardstock, and I'm going to add this as my first mat. And then I've taken the light blue heavy duty cardstock, and I embossed it with one of my embossing folders for my stash, and this is a leaf pattern, and I'll layer that on top. I've taken the Vicky Bouton watercolor stickers, and they had some leaves, or excuse me, some feathers, and I colored them with my Zig Clean Color markers, and then I also embellished it with the glitter drops, and I've used one of the cork pieces on top of these two feathers. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to the center here. Let me see, I think I'm going to do it this way. That way I'll have room for a sentiment that I cut out. And here's the third feather. There were 3 feathers. And I'll just add that there. And then for my sentiment, from my stash, I cut out with the gold that says "For You," and I'm going to add that to the top. I'm going to get my tweezers and just add a little bit of glue on the back. And just set that there to make sure that I space this evenly. And the feathers are watercolor paper, so it's super easy to color up and mix your colors on that, especially with the Zig Clean Color markers. And there you go, guys. This completes card number 3. For my next card, I've taken a 11 by 5.5 piece of cardstock, and I've scored it at 2 3/4, and then flipped it around and scored it again at 2 3/4. That way I can make a gatefold card. And I've taken one of the 6x6 sheets, and this will be the inside of my card. Let's see, so I have to go this way. Now I'll work on the front panels. I've taken this plaid paper that comes in the kit, and I used the large leaf from the stamp set that you get, and used the forest moss ink pad and stamped the leaves all around the panel sheet here. So I'll just add that to the front on both sides. I've taken one of the sentiments that says "Adventure Awaits" and one of the cork pieces, added it to the top. I also matted the "Adventure Awaits" cut apart with some craft cardstock, and I've added foam tape only to the right side of this, and I'm going to add that right here in the middle. And that way you can still open the card, and you have the image only glued on the left side. Next, I took the little fox from the stamp set and added foam tape to the back, and I'm going to add this down here at this bottom corner. I stamped the 2 leaves on white cardstock with the forest moss distress ink, and I'm going to add those to the top corner. Add some glue right up here. And that adds a nice touch since I stamped the leaf on the front panels. And that completes card number 4. My next card is a 6x6 card, and I took one of the 6x6 cardstock images that's in the kit, and this is a scene. And I love glamping, glamorous camping. I tent camped once, and after that had to have a motorhome. So I'm going to build on this scene, and I've taken, let's start with this piece first. This is so adorable. I think this is one of my favorite cards. I took the wooden piece that came in the kit. Let's see what she refers to it as. One round slab, wooden slab. So I'm going to add this down here in the corner, and I've added some of the ephemera pieces that come in the kit. This is a backpack, a lantern, and then the canoe paddle. And I'll go ahead and add this canoe right here as it's going down the river. All done with ephemera pieces. You didn't have to really cut anything out with this. I did cut a round white piece of cardstock to back my sentiment, and it says take a hike, and I added this 4-leaf clover to the left side of the image, and I'm just going to add this up here, and I think this turned out super adorable. I love the look of that. Super cute. So this completes card number 5. For card number 6, I've taken the pre-scored 6x6 card base that comes in the kit. I've added a white mat and then this beautiful pattern of one of the 6x6 sheets that comes in the kit, and it has trees. There's 3 images that come in the kit, and down at the bottom it describes the parts of the flowers. So I've got this one here, and I backed it in white and green cardstock, and I'm going to add this right up here at this top corner. And then image number 2 has a leaf, and it explains the veins, apex, and blade. Pretty informative there. I'm going to add that right here. I'm not going to press it down because I want to make sure I've spaced these evenly. I do have foam tape on the back. And then figure number 3 is the acorn. Super cute. I'm going to add that here. Then I've taken some ephemera pieces that have each of these images in a ephemera piece. So I'm going to add this one here, the leaf pattern next to that. Just move it over just a tad. And then the acorn right here. So adorable. Then I'll just press those down. Super cute. This comes with an envelope as well, and I can still have room to get my card into the envelope, even with the dimension. And that completes card number 6. For card number 7, I've taken a 6x6 card base and one of the 6x6 sheets in the kit, and I love the wooden slabs. I just cut it down a little bit to have a border, a white border around the edge. And next I've taken one of the cut aparts with a lovely saying. I've added the star cork pieces with the gold accents. And I cut my base a little bit longer because I want to add a sentiment down here. So I want to add this to the center. I've added foam tape to the back. I've taken one of the ephemera slab wooden pieces and added one of the flowers that comes in the kit. I'm going to add this to this bottom corner here. There's a second piece, and I've added foam tape to the back of this as well. And I want to add this right up here. So I only have foam tape on one corner since it's sitting a little bit on my center popped up piece. Next, I'm going to take the word explore, one of the ephemera pieces, and I'm going to add it to the bottom blue section of my focal image. And then I'm going to take the additional piece of this banner. Actually, I needed to move this up a little bit. Let me see if I can still do it. It looks like I'm stuck. So let's just go ahead and add it right. Where can I add this? Right here. There we go. I like the look of that and love that paper, and this completes card number 7. For card number 8, I've prepped my 6x6 card base with the green cardstock that comes in the kit, and then this lovely pink patterned 6x6 sheet. And there is a sheet in the kit, and I hope you go back and look at my unboxing so you can see what this sheet looked like. But it was just a solid floral pattern with this image in it, so I fussy cut that, and I've added the Nouveau glitter drops to the top of it for some sparkle. Love how that came out. And I'm going to add this to this left corner since this was part of the edge of the image on the sheet. I've popped it up on foam tape. I'm not going to press it down completely because I have these leaves that I fussy cut out, and I want to add those underneath, but I need to add some glue because I'm going to glue these flat on the card. Use my little tweezers, it makes it easier to handle. And I'm going to add this right here. And then I have one other little leaf. I'm going to add that, let's see, down here. Next, I'm going to take this little sentiment that says sending you sunshine, and I'm going to cut it down. So I don't want the wheat, so I'm going to cut this down. And then I just have the sentiment, and I'm going to back it with some green cardstock. Right there. And then I want to add this sentiment. Let me see. Right down here. I think I like it down here. But I'm going to add some foam tape to the back. Where's my foam tape? Here it is. Sorry about that. Just quickly add 4 pieces. Let's see if I need to add. That'll work right there. I only added 3 because I want to leave that space empty there to accommodate that top leaf. Move it up just a little. And then I have this piece here, and I'm just going to add that to the top just for some little sparkle, and I like it. And that completes card number 8. For card number 9, I've prepped my 6x6 card base with this mountain and tree image from the kit, and I've added the Nouveau glitter drops to some of the white images on the mountains for the snow cat. And then I want to make a fancy strip for the center of my card, so I've taken a piece of white cardstock. This was a strip that I had left from one of my previous cards, and I want to add that right there in the center of the white piece. And this white piece, let me see if I can get measurements. It's 1 inch by 6. So I'm going to go ahead and center this. And then I want to take these 2 scraps of gold cardstock that I had left over, and I want to add one at the top and one at the bottom. So I'm going to just add glue. See which is the best way to do it. Maybe on here, so I don't have to steady my hand. Okay, that turned out pretty good. And I'll just add this piece up here. And cut off the excess. And do the same thing down here, but I'm going to flip it so it makes it a little easier. And if the spacing isn't quite right between the top and bottom gold piece, I will just trim off a little bit. Or you can just leave it. Let me see, I'm going to go for it. Let's see if I can cut it straight. Let's see. Just a tad, you guys. Let's see if I do it. And if it's straight. Let's see. That looks... That looks straight. So I'm just going to hold that down. Ever so slight. Okay. I did it. And I think I'm going to add that right about there. And this is my sentiment, one of my cut-aparts, and it says, "The mountains are calling and I must go." And I'm going to center that there. So let's go ahead and add some adhesive to the back of this beautiful strip that we created. And this just gives it a splash of color since the background is in the gray tones. And I'm going to add that right there in the center. And just center it. And then I have this little tree in green that I want to add right next to it. Let's see, or down here. And that completes card number 9. For card number 10, I've prepped my 6x6 card base. It is a side folding card, and I've added one of the 6x6 sheets that I cut down slightly smaller to have a white border around the card. I've used a tag die from my stash. I'll show you what that looks like. This tag die, I cut one out of the designer paper and cut another one with white cardstock. But first I'm going to add this border piece, and this is the die that comes in the kit. And I've added foam tape to the top or to the back, and I'm going to add this right up here at the top of my card. Try to line it up. And then I've also cut another piece in some of the blue cardstock that comes in the kit, and I've cut the edges off just right above the tooth design. I just cut straight across so I have a little fringe, and I'm going to add that to the bottom of my tag. So let me go ahead and just trim that. And I'll add some glue to the back. And adhere it to my tag. Just to the top piece. And then I'll go ahead and adhere this just flat down on the card. I've also taken some of the brown and white twine and just threaded it through as I had it looped around and tied a bow. Goes there. I've taken one of the Vicky Bouton watercolor pieces. This is one of the sentiments, and colored that up. Added foam tape to the back, and I'm going to add this right on my tag. I also colored one of the little adorable birds, and I'm going to add that there. Then I have another strip of this same background paper, and I think I'm going to add that right here just to finish it off. So let me measure that. And then just trim that off. Add some glue. Use it with lift it up with my handy dandy tweezers. Makes it easier. It's like a third hand. And add that there. And I think that turned out adorable. Slide that over just a tad. And this completes card number 10. I hope I was able to inspire you and give you some ideas on how to use your September fully loaded kit from Creative Escape Papercrafting. I shall put the link down in the description box on how to purchase items like this in her store. I had so much fun creating with this. So many wonderful ideas that inspired me to create cards to share with you. So thanks everyone for watching. Take care.